This is the new backdrop for business schools. The fallout from COVID, climate change, and the financial crisis means they can no longer simply focus on profit maximization. Students and employers alike are keen to embrace issues like sustainability, purpose, and diversity.
I was one of these business students who joined my undergrad studies with the idea of having a fast career, earning a lot of money. And then I was sitting in this course and I started to realize that there's something wrong, right? We had to look at fashion supply chains from the very beginning to the end, and I could not stop pointing out, this is not fair, this is not just. And it was moving me internally, and my professors couldn't give me any answers.
Traditional companies are coming under new pressures to attract younger recruits and respond to customers' concerns. A new generation of businesses focused on social impact also wants business schools to change. That includes Acumen, which invests in startups focused on agriculture, energy, and human development.
The business schools are the feeder to our corporations and our companies who are so critical to the functioning of our economy. We have to decide what we want that economy to be. And if it isn't more inclusive, if it isn't more just, if it isn't more environmentally sustainable, we won't have the world that we all know we need to have for our children. That is the responsibility of the business schools, to start building leaders who are able to confront and take on those challenges.
Academics are adjusting their teaching by using a more diverse range of case studies by geographies, protagonists, and themes, including sustainability.
If you do an analysis of cases 20 years ago, it might be around sort of maximizing just the bottom line. Whereas now there's much more of a focus around creating shared value and sustainability and what that means overall. So land is a contentious issue in South Africa because quite a bit of community land was expropriated from community members during the apartheid government. And our case is centered on a community land that was given back to the community.
Many business schools are responding to these calls for change with specialist centres, new research and courses.
In the last 2 years, in particular over the last 6 months or 10 months, all of a sudden every discussion is about this. I have not had a single conversation with an executive, with a top academic, with a dean of another school that we don't end up discussing ESG and what business schools have to do and so on. To me, the biggest challenge that we're facing today in business schools is not the desire to teach these things. We can always write cases, we can always find companies that are doing the right thing. But the biggest issue is that we do not have a consistent and coherent framework that people can easily adapt and build this sustainability into their operations strategy and so on, or try to see how can we think about value maximization when we relax the simple assumption in the shareholder value paradigm that financial capital is the only capital that matters.
Students increasingly want to focus on social purpose, like George Bogos, a graduate from Chicago Booth Business School, who's launched autism clinics in rural America.
A huge number of my classmates, either knew that they wanted to be in the social space, coming out of the MBA. And so a lot of folks, whether they launched their own organizations and have pursued them after graduation, or joined a nonprofit or joined a larger corporation, but in an impact-focused role. There was a lot of my classmates who were pursuing those, but even ones who didn't and pursued a more traditional path out of the MBA, like going into a consulting role, there was a lot of interest in, hey, down the road in my career, I am going to gravitate towards this area, and so let me take advantage of these resources and coursework that we're offering here.
Identifying the new skills required and how best to teach them is not proving easy for academics. But if business schools do not innovate, they risk losing their appeal.